Hello and welcome to Drone Film Guide, the channel where we learn to fly like filmmakers. My name is Stewart Carroll. Now, a lot of you have seen our video, 3 techniques to achieve more cinematic footage. We talk about telling a story with your shots. Don't just reveal everything in the first frame. We talk about understanding your light source, the sun, and we talk about creating layers and depth in your footage for more interesting compositions. Well, in this video, we're going to take you through a bunch of real-life scenarios where we were doing a shoot up north in Scotland, and we're going to show you in action how we apply those principles ourselves on a day-to-day basis when we're flying our drone. There's a whole bunch of other tips in here as well, so I think you'll find this video interesting. You can learn from our experiences and our mistakes. Let's get started. Now, we just did this shoot, so we're going to talk you through a few of the challenges that we faced because it was way more difficult than we expected.
Always.
As always. We've been here before, as it happens. We filmed, in fact, flash it up on the screen just now. We filmed a couple walking here about 2 years ago, and it was all super lovely, and we had to come back and we thought it'll be dead easy and get some nice shots of this church. No, it's not a church, castle.
Castle.
What did happen, however, is you probably can't see them in this shot, but they're still there. Some bloody tourists with their luminous pink, I know, tourists ruining my tourist shot, in their luminous pink jackets, standing there. We've been here for half an hour, and yeah, they're still there.
There's also masts there, or pylons.
Yeah. Big pylons there. Generally speaking, pylons aren't good. There's a roof, there's like an industrial building right behind that castle on the other side of the road, so we don't want to show that, so we had to think, how do we not show that? So we had to keep the drone low. Anyway, let's run through some of these clips. You'll see some of these points that we're talking about, and we'll see you at the end. Opening shot, and it's a good one. Look at these colours, the autumn colours on the grass there. We're revealing the castle in the background. We're keeping the drone low so you can't see that building behind the castle. The other thing you can't see as we're getting in closer are those people. What happened to the people in the pink jacket? Well, they're still there, believe it or not, but this is the first time we've been on the right side of this one, where we see something on the day and we don't see it in the footage afterwards. Normally it's the opposite. You don't see it on the iPhone or the iPad, and then you get the footage back, you're like, oh man, that's ruined the shot. All that effort and it's gone because of something I couldn't see on the monitor. We're really having to get in quite close to see those people. You can start to see some movement now. And depending on what kind of shot you're looking for, that could spoil it. The pylons are a bit more visible as well, but apart from that, everything else is looking lovely. The sun is behind us, it's in the right place. It's not shining as such, but it's not causing us any problems with blown out skies. Now, mindful that we were trying to get rid of some things in the shot, even though you couldn't actually see them, one way is to hide behind trees or hide behind walls and try and use those to obscure the things you want to remove from your composition. In this case, we couldn't see the people anyway, but you can see we're creeping from behind these trees to try and hide those people in the bottom left. This one, I don't think the composition is so great, but when we crop in 200%, I'd say this is a much more cinematic shot. We've got the castle there in the lower third. It's a much better composition, and overall I'd say that's a pretty nice balanced shot. Okay, back again. We're on the other side of the loch this time. This is kind of a challenging shoot. We want to get this amazing church, but it's tough. You know, there's a road right behind us, so in terms of things we want to hide, we want to avoid that. There's a railway line right down there. There's water here. There's trees all around it. Sometimes there's some public milling around, so we have to keep them out of the way. It's not going to be easy, so let's get the drone in there and see how we get on. Well, let's start off with the best shot. In we come across the water, reveals the castle. No, it's a church, it's a church. Can you spot what's wrong with the shot, what we don't like? Might have to point it out in a second, but all in all, this is a pretty nice shot. This is a reversed shot. We flew the shot backwards, as you'll see later, and here we come into our nice resting spot. Here's the other decent shot that we got after about a 10-minute flight. It was a tough gig, and this was one of the main reasons for it. Look at that big, ugly, hazardous, avoiding, whatever the hell that is. It looks ridiculous. So let's see how we dealt with that. Take off, ridiculous place to take off, but there wasn't really many options. Don't try that unless you've got a few flights under your belt. There's the orange stuff. So what we're going to do straight away, we're going to try and reposition the camera. Let's see if we can get rid of that by repositioning the camera. And we do a pretty successful job of that. Happy days, look great. Can you spot what's still wrong with the shot though? There's people in the shot. Where the hell did they come from? Get out my shot. Now, if I didn't point those out, it might not be so obvious, but now that I've told you they're there, it's pretty obvious. And as soon as he turns his back, they see the big white shirt ruining the shot. But otherwise, this is a pretty great shot. So let's get them out of the shot. Let's fly backwards and make them really small. Oh, no need, they've gone inside. Abort, fly forwards, get the most of this shot. And this is the second shot that we just showed you, this small creeping in shot. Just trying to make the most of the fact that guy went inside. Now, he's still gone, so let's fly backwards and see what we get. This was actually the first opening shot. This is the actual original shot. Flying backwards, we can see a bit of the orange now that I've pointed it out to you. There's a building on the left there, so the shot that I actually showed you at the start has been cropped in a little bit to get rid of that building. It was reversed, and that gave us that nice Hollywood-style opening shot. How about that? Enough of that though. Let's have a look at this. Reposition the shot, try and get a different composition. Remember, you don't always have to put your subject in the middle of the frame. Did you see that flash of white go past though? There's the other main problem with this location. Cars in the background. That's one way of killing your sense of isolation. Now, if it wasn't for that orange, this would be potentially a good shot. That's ruining it already, and as you've already seen, look at those white vans go past. It's looking, oh, white van, completely ruining it, completely spoiling the shot. Looks like we might have another angle here. Maybe use these trees to hide that orange stuff, but maybe not. But it's a good attempt. Let's reposition that and fly the other way and see what we get. Well, not a particularly successful effort at hiding the orange, it has to be said, but you know, depending on what you were filming for, maybe this is quite acceptable. So we've got a decent little piece of shot here, but did we forget about that road in the background? Because I'm pretty sure about now we're going to see a great big ugly white van. Oh, there's something go past and kind of ruin this mood, and there's another one go past. It's a day for white van drivers, spoiling the shots. Not very great. Fast forward, and that's the end of the shoot. I had to get on with the rest of the job. Can anyone guess where I was standing? Hey, happy days. Okay, enough of that, on to the next one. So if you've watched our other videos, you probably remember that we're not a big fan of blown out white skies. The sun is not in the ideal position here. It is in front of the camera, but that's okay. Tilt the camera down a little bit and all is well. Now this is the uncolor graded shot and this is the color graded shot. So we've been able to draw out some nice evening sun colors here. It's pretty nice. Let's add a little bit of depth, create some motion in the shot. Do pretty much the same shot, but reveal the house from behind the trees. Okay, let's get on to the other side. The sun is in the right place now. It's behind us. It's nicely illuminating everything. Look at that landscape. Look at that location. This is absolutely fantastic. A nice balanced exposure between the house and the sky, the trees, the water. Everything is perfect. Now, do you think we're flying this forwards or backwards? We're sure as hell not flying it forwards and down. We're flying it backwards and up. This shot is reversed and we're able to nicely pick out our end spots. What about this one? A nice reveal? Okay, well there's a kind of normal challenge you might have to face. Just some random guy walking about on a mobile phone. Fun times being a drone pilot. Let's create some depth in the shot. Look at this, revealing from behind this tree. Look at all the colours in there as well. The green, the red, the yellows, the blues. Absolutely love this. This is nice low evening sun as well. It's not particularly bright, but it's just coming in at a nice angle and making everything look good. Here's another cool shot as well. I mean, I don't know if this is obvious to you or not, but reverse your footage. It's so much easier to start with the end point, fly backwards, and then reverse the footage. That way you'll hit your mark every time. You're not second guessing where the drone is going to end up. Here we're tilting down as well and we're showing the house and it's all just looking rather lovely. Now as well, when you're flying about, don't forget, point the camera down from time to time, see what it looks like down there. This is a great shot for a title sequence or credits at the end or an introduction or something like that. Look at those colours, it looks amazing. Okay, done with this. Let's wrap this up. Okay, so there you have it, some real life examples of us applying our principles in real life drone shoots and some fairly challenging circumstances, which I have to say are more the norm than otherwise, because there's always something that goes wrong or something that could be better in your drone shoot. It's just the way it goes with this game. But hopefully you can see that by learning your craft, you can add so much value with some understanding of cinematic filming principles. And for us, because we've been doing this a long time, it becomes kind of second nature. You just know that you're going to try and reposition and try and get things out of the shot. If the sun's coming into the lens a bit too much, take the drone up, point the camera down. All just becomes second nature. It comes with experience. But even if that's not the case for you, watch our videos, try and learn those things, ingrain them in your head, and you too will be able to produce this quite spectacular pro-grade footage with something as basic and as relatively inexpensive as a Phantom 4. Remember, we're still just flying the Phantom 4 standard. We don't even have a Phantom 4 Pro, and we're getting all this stuff. So anyway, there you go. As always, don't forget to subscribe, keep in touch, there's comments below, all that kind of stuff, and we'll see you next time.